Welcome, I'm Kinetic Symphony. This is Dave. I hunt down and report on weird and true mysterious stories, from glitches to the supernatural. Case file number 1963, written by Gisher John 24. The light turned green, but fate intervened. I still think about it. I don't understand why or what happened, considering I'm, still here. In 1991, me and my then-girlfriend were at a busy intersection outside of town on a state road where there is a traffic light. Four-way light, basically. We get to the road. The crossway traffic is plentiful. Wouldn't say like city traffic, but a very high-traffic country and state road. We get to the light. It turns red. I stop for the red light. We see cars, semis, trucks, etc. crossing through going about 65 miles per hour. We probably wait for about 2 minutes and the light changes to green for us to go through. My intention is to go straight across the busy intersection. Because of what happens after, I remember vividly that I put my foot on the accelerator to go forward. I was a young kid then, 16. I wasn't afraid to gun it. So I accelerated what I would call almost a burnout, where I would leave tire marks. I had a Cobra at the time. Anyway, I remember accelerating, but the thing is, I did not move. 1 second later, a semi blasts through the intersection, running the red light, going probably 65. It comes inches from hitting my car. My car seemed to accelerate, but only at a crawl. Even though I remember pretty much gunning it. We just sat there in shock as a semi nearly hit me. And while we sat there, almost in the middle of the intersection, we just looked at each other, not saying anything, just in shock and knowing how lucky we were. The engine itself was not stalled. I was able to accelerate normally and go along my way. I felt lucky my car magically didn't accelerate at the inopportune time. Would have been instantly killed for sure, getting hit broadside. We talked about it the next day, but we just came to the conclusion we were supernaturally saved that day, because I can't explain it. Any other stories like this out there? Peace to all. Case notes from 1963. The light turned green, but fate intervened. Guardian angel strikes again in the most positive of way. To literally control the acceleration rate of a car, perhaps warping the time itself within a localized bubble. So from an outside perspective, you were traveling as fast as a car could go, gunning it as you say, but you were transfixed, rooted into this little bubble of space-time. But that's just a guess on how a guardian angel could control an entire car. I don't think they're Superman, they're gifted Superman powers, there's an invisible man in front of the car just holding it. Although that would be kinda cool if that's the case, so maybe that's what I should believe. Case file number 1964, written by finickyphilanthropy. With a call to the darkness, I open the door. I have a friend from college, and according to him, he's had something attached to him since early childhood. Typical scary dark figure, made of blackness type of thing, that'll interfere with his life, every once in a while. Most commonly, he won't see it, but something will smash his blinds to the side suddenly, while he's in a room, or there'll be 3 or 5 loud knocks on his walls and doors. What made me believe him before I saw anything, is that he did 6 years in the Navy, and has had friends before, during, and after his time, that have seen it. 2 times and 2 different people, or heard or seen its interaction, a handful of times and people. My friend has had a lot of weird crap happen to him over the years. Not necessarily related to whatever he's got going on with whatever this is. Anyways, one of the times he was telling me about this, and we'd actually called up a friend of his who'd seen it. I was pretty damn skeptical, newly a non-believer in religion, and brash. I spoke out loud and told it to attach itself to me because I thought the idea was ridiculous. And my friend was all for it, I think because no one had done that before, and he could definitely tell I thought it was bullcrap. Since then, weird things happen every once in a while. In the week directly after that, there was a case where lights kept being on when I got home. One in particular was a touch-activated lamp that was stuffed in a work-in-progress clutter that was slightly sectioned off by an improv wall. That stood out because when I eventually went to unplug the thing after a few times of that happening, it wasn't plugged in. I had something hit the front door hard when I was sitting 5 feet from it at my desk. Think a full-on kick to the door, but when I opened it, the glass and metal screen door in front of the hit door was still closed, intact, and locked. The same day, the door handle to the front door sounded like it was being interfered with or tapped. But again, the glass screen door was still shut and locked, and protecting the main door from the outside. Once, in the front door, bedroom, bathroom, work desk, hallway, I'd had pretty bad dread set in. If you haven't experienced it before, you can't approximate it by having feared about something before. Dread is a really particular thing. I went about turning all the lights on in the place and closing the blinds, checking the closet, etc. And when I was in the hallway, I started hearing heavy, ragged breathing over my shoulder. Nothing was there, obviously, and I ended up leaving that night and spending it at my friend's house. At this point, it's also noteworthy to point out that very often now, when something happens to him, most of the time something will happen to me, and one of us tells the other pretty much immediately. A weird one was around March 2020. My friend was moving places and stayed at my place for a night. We slept in the same bed. Before the gay jokes, we're bros and both gay, and not attracted to each other, so there's no danger there. Anyways, I woke up in the middle of the night, which is uncommon enough, and I remember the room was weirdly dark. And I could see eyes looking into the room from outside the window at the head of the bed, and the walls of the room had weird patterns all over them. I woke him up, and by the time I did, things were more or less normal. But I didn't go back to sleep for a couple hours, and wrote what happened while I was still awake. Maybe 10 minutes after it happened. I've had more things happen since I told whatever it is to attach itself to me, and to be honest, I've got no idea. I don't do drugs, and nothing has ever happened to me when I've been drinking. I'm a skeptical, generally non-believing facts versus feelings type of guy. I don't like that whatever has happened has happened. I don't know, and I probably won't ever know. Oh well, now I look like a nut. Case notes found 1964. With a call to the darkness, I opened the door. So to literally make it clear to this entity that you wanted it to attach itself to you, whoa. Your friend was probably happy because if it's attached to you, it probably can't be attached to him, or I guess maybe it could, maybe it split itself in two to do it, because you mentioned later on that whenever something happened to you, it would happen to him too, so it sounds like whatever this thing was split into two, but that should reduce its potency, if you think about it. Either way, it's good for your friend who was forever tethered and attached to this entity that just wasn't a positive force. It's the note of dread that really gets me. Again, I always say that I don't think most entities are evil, but some of them would be. It's like humans. There's only a small percentage of people that are truly malicious, sadistic. But if those die and become this entity, or convert into some deeper demon of some sort, well, you do not want those attached to you. So wherever you're at out there, never say, attach to me, to some entity in the area. That's not a good idea. It does appear that permission, consent, is a governing force of reality. So if you invite something into your home, if you consent to possession, something like that, it definitely opens the door. So don't do that. Keep it locked. Now time for the joke of the day. I got a call from school telling me that my son connected a battery to the classroom doorknob. When the teacher found out, he was shocked. When he got home, I told him he is grounded. He was regretful and did not resist. He is punished until he learns how to conduct himself. Perfect. Like the video, subscribe, hit the bell. Kinetic Symphony signing off.